I saw your tweet today. You said that the Democrats could stop the Amy Coney Barrett confirmation. They would just have to use all their tools. So what are those tools?
The very first one, now that several Republican senators have been diagnosed with COVID and required to go into quarantine, is for Democratic senators to challenge any potential quorum in the Senate and to particularly fight to block any proxy remote participation. There are plenty of settings in which remote participation might make sense for a chamber of Congress, like a hearing in the House that doesn't have the significance that this one does. But there's never been a Senate Judiciary Committee process or a confirmation process held remotely. I don't think that this certainly should be the first time. And if Democratic senators use their prerogatives to force a quorum in the Senate, there's absolutely no way that McConnell can move forward. Another way to put this is that the only way for McConnell to move this nomination forward is if Chuck Schumer and the Senate Democrats fail to mount a united front of resistance. And frankly, they failed at every point in the past. So I don't have a great deal of hope for them. There's one reason I'm running to replace the leader of the Democrats in the House. But I do hope that senators feel enough fire to their feet that they are willing to do the right thing and leave no stone unturned in the effort to block this nomination and preserve the chance for the next administration to choose the next SCOTUS nominee.
So that's one of the tools. Any other tools?
I think about the block of Merrick Garland. Democrats need to be very outspoken, much more so than they have at the moment. Like, they've called out the double standard with Republicans denying Merrick Garland his confirmation hearings, but I think they need to come out and make the point that this is just bald hypocrisy. Right. And I think they need to call Senate Republicans hypocrites, use the word. And that's not something they've rhetorically seen fit to do. They frankly could shut down the Senate entirely. Yeah. There's no reason for the Senate to be able to get anything done if they try to move forward with the confirmation. And that's something that Democrats also have often not been willing to do. In fact, just to think about previous judicial nominations by this criminal president, Democratic senators have voted time and again to confirm Trump's nominees. And it's not like it made any more sense in those instances than it does now. Those are all lifetime appointments, not to the Supreme Court, thankfully. But Democratic senators routinely get rolled. It's kind of what they do. It's what they're there for.
We had on David Sirota the other night, he referred to Thomas Frank, What's the Matter with Kansas, and the way that the Republicans have so brilliantly exploited cultural wedge issues to distract from economic ones. So this is a perfect example. I also brought up Thomas Frank's other book, Listen Liberal, or Whatever Happened to the Party of the People. And one of the major points of that book is how much the Dems, it's not that they have an inability to do something, it's that they don't want to do it. Right. So for instance, David was saying, there are Dems who of course don't like that she's anti-choice, but they don't want to talk about those bread and butter issues, like the fact that she had made some decision, you probably know about this, but about the Uber workers. That's a decision that could actually rally not just the base, but reach across the aisle. But the problem is the Democrats are so complicit in all this corporate corruption that they can't point that out. And they like some of those rulings, or their donors do.
That's absolutely right. And there's a further point here is that Democrats, even on those cultural identity issues, can't, even within the zone that they would prefer to stand in, can't actually consistently walk their own talk. They can't claim to themselves be consistent advocates for the principles that they're trying to hold the nominee to. And reproductive rights comes to mind as a particular example